Hello and welcome to another of the Slimmr video podcasts. Today I'm going to be talking about sleep. Now, as most of you, I think, watching this will be over 45, I'm going to talk predominantly about what happens to your sleep as you get older. And the first thing I must say to you is that people used to say, oh, you need much less sleep as you get older. Apparently this is rubbish, and sleep experts now uniformly agree that we all, just like everybody else, need between 7 and 9 hours sleep a night. So that's the first thing. But sleep patterns do tend to alter as we get older, and you could find that you've regarded yourself as a particular type of person with regard to sleep all your life, and now you're becoming something very different. I have had to do this. I used to regard myself as a night owl. If I went to the theatre, I ate after the theatre, went to bed late, got up late. But now I find, by experimentation, which I think most of us have to indulge in, I have found that if I am asleep shortly after 10, I used to be having dinner about then. If I have a better sleep. If I bank some hours before 12, I seem to have a much better night's sleep. So if your sleep patterns seem to be not what they were, do have a think about whether you're actually sleeping at the right times. For example, if you're falling asleep over the television every night about 9:30, ask yourself, should I be in bed actually? It's just worth thinking about. If you're tired and you're yawning, your body is possibly trying to tell you something. Let me briefly mention, though, the disruption to sleep that can happen with big life-changing events. Like moving house, divorce, obviously, children leaving home, all sorts of things like that, retirement. But very much you will notice a change in pattern if you are grieving after the death of somebody close to you. And I think there's no way around this. I think you have to just treat yourself with care, but you have to accept it's part of the grieving process and it will settle down and go back to normal. But for a while, you may very well go to bed, fall fast asleep quickly, and then be wide awake and know you're awake for the rest of the night about 4. Or another night you might go to bed and toss and turn until about 4 and then fall into a fitful sleep. Just take it easy, be kind to yourself, get up if you have to. You just have to think, I'm going through a very sad phase of my life and the sleep is disturbed because of it, but it will get better. In retirement, often people feel, well, it's my turn to have a bit more rest and relaxation, and who could blame you for that? But you might start napping, particularly having a nap after lunch, and that's fine. Plenty of people swear by a power nap, even, much younger people. However, if you are sleeping late into the afternoon, napping late into the afternoon, that could disrupt your nighttime sleep later. So have a think about that. Don't sleep too late in the afternoon because you don't want to compromise the main sleep of the day. I want to tell you about what the experts say about melatonin. Now, melatonin is a hormone that helps us wind down and relax at night in preparation for sleep. For some reason, experts now believe that if we get a lot more daylight in the early part of the day, the melatonin does its job better later at night. So if you're having some trouble with sleeping, it might be worth your while getting out more in daylight, particularly morning daylight, and seeing if that will actually change. Now, it might seem absurd to you that getting more daylight would actually make sleeping at night better, but for some reason, it does. So that's something to think about. Experts, there are many sleep experts, and I'm sure you can, do a bit of research on the internet yourself if you're having bad sleep. But eat your last meal of the day several hours before you go to bed. That is commonly recommended by sleep experts. They say when you're watching television, you should be 6 feet at least away from the television. I don't know if you are. They also say you cannot underestimate the benefits of a really dark bedroom. Now, earlier in the year, obviously, we were being woken at 4 by birdsong and what have you in the country, but you might live in an urban area where there are lots of street lamps, and if we have inadequate curtains, shutters, blinds, whatever, and the bedroom never gets fully dark, we're not doing our best for ourselves, and it honestly, genuinely is worth the investment to make sure that your bedroom can be really, really dark at night. Once you're in bed, now, a lot of us like listening to audiobooks or to read, and that's fine. But I would advise against psychological thrillers late at night, because those twisty plots can keep us awake, but they can also infiltrate our dreams and give us really bad dreams. So if that's your bag and you like reading, sort of scary things, I don't think you should be doing it in bed. I have a friend who reads recipe books. She thinks it's a bit sad, but actually it's soothing. And something familiar late at night and something not frightening is a better bet. I do remember my late husband had been a great fan of Just William books when he was a child, and he'd got two, even in old age, he'd got two by the bed, and if he couldn't sleep, he would dip into one of those and he would literally laugh himself to sleep in no time at all. So find something reassuring to read. Once the lights are out, if you are having trouble relaxing, try some 7-11 breathing. You breathe in for 7, you breathe out for 11. Why? Because when we're kind of nervous or worried about not sleeping, what we do is we tend not to empty our lungs fully on the outward breath. So in for 7, out for 11, you will empty your lungs and it will be calming and soothing for you. So you might think this is all a bit of a palaver, and why should you be doing all these things? But what I would say to you is this: we spend a third of our lives asleep or trying to be asleep. So it's a pretty vital thing to get it right. And I think, therefore, to encourage a good framework in which you're more likely to sleep is a good thing. Of course, you could just dive under the duvet and hope for the best, but that possibly might not work for you. Pleasant dreams.